Building theory from practice and building theory for practice, as we've seen, uses evidence. And evidence can come from students. There are particular things that we can look for, certain things that we can question as reflective practitioners. For example, what do students already know? That's a good starting point for us in terms of evidencing practice and evidencing new theory. How adequate are the sources of those evidence that we're using is another question that we can ask of the evidence that we're collecting. What do students need to learn and need to do is another significant question that we can use in terms of looking for evidence. And also, how do we build on what the students already know? This is another question that we can ask in terms of evidencing new theory. Evidence is also looked for in terms of our own growing knowledge and our own developing practice. And so questions that we can ask in this area include things around knowledge and practice for ourselves. For example, how we have contributed to existing student outcomes. What changes have we made and what improvements have we facilitated? Another question could be, what do we already know that we can use to promote improved outcomes for students? Again, this is another source of evidence that we're looking at in terms of our effectiveness of the knowledge that we have and the skills that we're bringing. Another question could be, what do we need to learn and do in order to promote the particular improved outcomes from students? And also, what sources of evidence and sources of knowledge can we use in order to evidence that effectiveness? So in this sense, there are three fields of knowledge that we need to consider in terms of evidencing the theory that we're building. The first field of knowledge is what is known, the knowledge from theory, the knowledge from research, and also the knowledge from best practice, which is shared with us by colleagues. What is known is a good starting point for the knowledge building process. Another component is what we know, the knowledge of those involved in teaching, what the practitioners know, not only the individual but the community of practitioners. And another field of knowledge is new knowledge, the knowledge that we can create both individually and collaboratively from work and for work. And we can see that these three fields of knowledge work together and inform one another. What is known, the knowledge from theory and research, informs what we know about our practice. And both of these can inform new knowledge. And conversely, new knowledge, the new knowledge that we can create individually or collaboratively with colleagues, can inform what we know as practitioners, what we know about what works and what doesn't work. And this can actually then be used to inform what is known generally about teaching and learning and informs theory and research. So using evidence for building theory from practice and building theory for practice is actually part of a cycle and pervades every aspect of the cycle. It helps us identify what students know and need to learn, and importantly, helps us identify what teachers know and what teachers need to learn. We can see that the three types of knowledge come together for both students and teachers in this regard. And in terms of this cycle, it helps us decide what might be most effective for us as practitioners and provides an opportunity for us to check the level of impact on the changes to our practice from these different knowledge perspectives.